All right, hello, welcome back for the New York AM session Silver Bullet 10 to 11. Here we are again. Not much happened since the London Open session. Really rather quiet market action so far since the Open. So we'll see. 10 a.m. we have high impact news event. It's the ESM services PMI, which will be the main news driver for the market as it is. All right. This is where we are technically. Some smooth highs in here on ES near term with the buy side up there. Interesting, we'll see. I mean, I kind of like a trade up into this premium in efficiency. Maybe if we go past that, we could challenge the high. That's kind of what I'm thinking. But we'll see. We'll see what we get. Nonetheless, 9:30 we opened with a premium opening range gap. Couldn't even reach the consecutive encroachment on Nasdaq. Same on ES. Couldn't even reach the consecutive encroachment as it is now. So the first 20 minutes stayed rather strong. Currently, RTH chart buy side liquidity resting here with the portion of this inefficiency open. Trading off of a discount, premium is up there, so that's somewhat my preferred type of delivery, I assume. But let's see. Let's just really see what it does, how it does. I'm not pressing anything before 10 a.m. anyway. So yeah, just waiting. We reached the new week opening up though. So that was my draw earlier. And price traded around it a couple of times, just messing around it. And now I'm assuming we could potentially be using this new week opening up as a discount array to send price either higher or lower, potentially higher, right? Potentially higher. I mean, this is definitely like a very, very smooth and clean buy side from the Asia. That's definitely on the table to be taken out. So let's see if it will be available after or post 10 a.m. because yeah, I have a feeling we might reach up into it earlier. And yeah, I mean it looks like it will be attacking that buy side before 10 a.m. already. which, yeah, I mean, I guess it is what it is. Not much I can do about it. All right, looks like the buy side is being taken out right now on NQ. ES is kind of matching that too, so no biggie there. All right, I mean, this so far was rather a shallow run on that buy side, and that's, I wouldn't say that's necessarily enough. So if we could pull back lower off of that somewhat aggressively, I would view that as something suspect, and the buy side here to be potentially revisited in the near future. So let's see. A busy right before taking the buy side here, traded through, it's fine. Let me see the, yeah, I like how ES made a similar idea in here, using this as a resistance. Relative equal lows also on both ES and Nasdaq, kind of smooth on the 1 minute chart. 921, 929. ES has smoother relative equal lows here, that's for sure. So yeah, I mean, running the sell side liquidity here would be a candy of a setup to run the buy side liquidity after 10 a.m. But yeah, might not be necessarily in the cards, I feel like. But fine, fair enough. I suppose 5 minutes left. I will now zoom out the chart completely and watch it in this perspective. Without annotations. So yeah, this is the buy side that we are challenging right now, and I would expect to run to and through that. We already, I mean, so far we traded to it, but not necessarily through it. So any retracements lower, I would still look for potential deeper run through that buy side into the order flow here. Some inefficiencies inside this price leg, and maybe ultimately this relative equal highs up here would be something interesting. I like how ES is losing a little bit of ground in here. ES definitely looks like it could clear out those relatively lows, so they are literally left there as a candy laying there just to take it out and then look for a potential reversal to run the buy side. That's how I would see it, especially with the news. So if 10 a.m. could send it lower, take out the sell side first, and then show some ideas to reverse the price, and then possibly send it towards the buy side liquidity, that would be like, yeah, ideal, best case scenario after all. And yeah, but again, that's like an idea that, yeah, it's cool, it's reasonable, but I don't know if it will actually unfold or not. I would like it because it would imply a lot of damage being done before the actual price run. So yeah, that would be interesting. All of this sell side here, this trend line liquidity was already made jagged here, accumulated. Buy side counterparty is waiting here and up there. Two more minutes and we'll see. All right, so initial rejection, both ES and Nasdaq. 1 minute until the news event. So far, longs are making money for the most part since the 9:30. All right, so 10 a.m. hits. Initial spike lower here on ES. So I'm assuming these relatively lows could be in realm of possibility. I mean, I would like to see that happen, but obviously we'll see that being viable or not. New week opening up low, reprice body staying towards the high on Nasdaq, trading above this per valley gap could lead to some measure of extrapolation higher. But again, I prefer to see it clear some sell liquidity first, either on ES or Nasdaq. Either one can do it. I mean, if either one could do it, that would be cool. But looks like we might not be getting that anytime soon. All right, so this yellow line, consecutive encroachment, could have could be acting as a potential draw on liquidity on the upside. But still, I would prefer to see some sell side being taken out first, either Nasdaq or yes. According, we're having this choppy consolidation. That's something that I would prefer to see first. Will I get it? I don't know. I have this fair value gap here annotated from 950 because it could potentially act as a bullish reclaimed fair value gap to send us higher eventually, maybe. And that's somewhat of an idea to draw towards the consecutive encroachment of that 15-minute CB on the upside. That would sound interesting. But yeah, initially it failed to inverse this fair value gap right away. ES traded to a small little inefficiency up here, also rejecting that. It has this large long wick, so consecutive encroachment of that wick is something to watch, I suppose. But still, those relatively lows on ES are way closer to the price and cleaner, so they could have been or could be attacked. They could be attacked as a run on sell side, and that could set up a potential SMT on the lows plus a potential run higher afterwards, I would say. So assuming that longs are technically in profit since 9:30 open, they are profiting. At 10 a.m. news hitting could send or spool price a little bit lower to apply some pressure, take some longs, and take basically their seat to eventually reprice this market higher later today or at some point later today. That sounds like an good plan. Price perfectly closing at the consecutive encroachment here on ES, and that might be the signature that will send it higher. Though that might be it. Quick displacement on both ES and Nasdaq. Nasdaq looks fairly stronger also. So yeah, I mean, that was a pretty stellar reaction here off of the consecutive encroachment of this week. Very nice reaction. Traded to some inefficiency in here near term. But yeah, I would say it's more likely to see a follow through right now than to see a collapse. So yeah, we have this potential bullish reclaimed fair value gap here. If we can close above it and not take this high out, that's like an idea. And we have Abyssy also here with this inversion technically. So this candle's low, or to this candle's low, that's like something. That could be potentially utilized. We have a week here also, consecutive encroachment traded, price displaced higher. Well, all right, so we closed above that. We made the return here. But yeah, I guess I was sleeping and didn't entered. All right, so I got in on this potential bullish reclaimed fair value gap with the idea that I could or should allow to potentially return down to this 10.06 fair value gap, with the idea that the consecutive encroachment of that 15-minute fair value gap is a potential draw on the upside that's reasonable. Right, so I could take some partials here, potentially around or above 50%. I could maybe also leave it as it is. Let's see though. So yeah, I'm kind of thinking about potentially giving myself a little bit more room with this trade, aiming for a potential expansion higher for the day. Yeah, that sounds like a reasonably easy objective on the upside, that consecutive encroachment. So maybe I should take a partial there and maybe maybe look for some measure of continuation above that. Maybe the closure of it around here. Sounds kind of fair. So yeah, 50%, we hit that already here. So yeah, I think I will do this way. I will take one off at the 50% here of that target, in the initial target. And all right. Stop loss to better than even, and best case scenario will be best case scenario will be some run higher on a larger scale, I believe. So yeah, I just fund the position, remove the risk technically, and just be there for potential expansion higher if it wants to. I'm here to capture that. If it doesn't want to, then it looks a little bit iffy, to say the least. So I guess that's how I will engage this day today. I definitely like the continuation higher towards those highs. That sounds cool. Closing this inefficiency here sounds reasonable, I would say, as a target. Therefore, that's what I will use. ES still has to clear up the buy side, so then that should unlock the price and see some measure of continuation or follow through. All right, so no stress, no panic, just leaving the price or giving it some room to run higher and potentially offer a measure of expansion to the upside. because that's kind of what it looks like it might want to do. But yeah, obviously, if I'm wrong, then the stop loss is there to do its job. So yeah, 35 handles captured on the first partial. And yeah, I would like to see it. I would like to see it expand here. So this is kind of like the tricky part, tricky moment, where if it's a little bit overzealous, I could get stopped out, and it could potentially or technically still deliver. But at the same time, I would prefer the price not even come back to my original entry, and I would prefer to see it really be in a rush to expand higher. If it doesn't show that, that's already like a little bit of a red flag, I would say. So far, we returned to the old relative equal highs, and the bodies are staying above that. So that's interesting a little bit. Interesting little note. But I feel like we are in this area where we could technically return back to that reclaimed bullish fair value gap that I used. I would prefer not to, obviously, but technically it could do that, but it's better if it doesn't. So I'm betting on that scenario that it doesn't do that, and that's the best case scenario, right? Because if it does go there, it could maybe still be good, but it won't be the best case scenario, right? So yeah, at least that's how I'm looking at it. All right, looks like a stop out here. In profit though, in slightly in profit though, better than even. Captured just a little bit of this run. We'll see if it still want to perform higher. It could, it might. It didn't technically touch this reclaimed bullish fair value gap, and it's turning already. So I would say it's quite promising to see it run higher, especially ES also touching the buy side just now. So it definitely definitely looks quite promising. But yeah, it took me out here, and this is my first trade. And by the way, let me take off this limit order here. I don't want to leave it like that. Cancelled. This is the first bid of the business on the funded account. $78 in profit overall. Like, yeah, I mean that's not much, obviously. That's just a little bit, just a little step forward, I would say. But yeah, nonetheless, I will take that. I will take that on a day that wasn't necessarily maybe as obvious, as clean. I will take that. Yeah, wouldn't I get stopped out here, I would be very glad to still hold it for potential higher target, the one that I annotated, and generally higher prices. But yeah, that's obviously life. Maybe I strangled that a little bit too high. Maybe yes. Maybe I should have left it a little bit of room. maybe. But yeah, I didn't, so that's the business for the day. All right, so that's a W nonetheless. And I'm evening out the scoreboard with it. 16 win, 16 loss, 1 break even. Yeah, I mean, looks like it's really starting to fly in here. So I got stopped out literally at the low here of this candle, and it's turning around ever since. So best case scenario is it just continuously starts delivering higher prices towards those higher premium arrays and doesn't even look back for this low. It shouldn't make a lower low, best case scenario. That's what I would like to see. So yeah, I guess couple more minutes I'll be inclined to watch what we do. And yep. Yes, he's showing nice follow through in here. I like that. I like to see that though. That looks pretty nice, and Nasdaq should catch up with that momentum, I believe, and it should offer a measure of retraction higher still. At least that's what I would still expect, or that's what I would still go with as an idea for the reminder of the morning session. And yeah, this high of this inefficiency definitely in the cards, slightly above that, definitely in the cards. But yeah, I mean, we are already pushed quite deeper into the range after 10 a.m. So better entries were offered during the opening range, that's for sure. Better, more discounted entries that I would prefer to be positioned down there on this inefficiency, for example. But yeah, obviously I was dealing with what was in price at the moment after 10 a.m. and that was this reclaimed fair value gap, which nonetheless, I mean, it's performing well. Right now it went into small little consolidation that tapped me out by a tick. But as long as price stays above it and doesn't necessarily come back into it even, that's best case. I would still expect a measure of potential continuation. That's something. I mean, that sounds reasonable, I would say, the least. But yeah, I guess we'll see. We'll see what it. what it will actually do. All right, nonetheless, I think that's going to be it for today. I took the trade already. I'm not really interested in anything else besides watching tape reading whether it would actually still deliver higher, but I will check that later, definitely. And yeah, I'll be back tomorrow with more silver bullet action for sure. So yeah, nonetheless, thanks for watching, whoever was watching, and see you guys tomorrow. So I wish you a pleasant reminder of the day. Ciao.